All right, good morning, YouTubers. This is Dr. Otis Clayton, the Turnaround Principal. I am so excited to talk to you guys about this information today. As I've been talking to some of my clients, the digital divide has created some challenges amongst teams, and people are not feeling as effective as they have in the past. So I just want to highlight a few points from one of my favorite books, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and talk to you about how to overcome those things as a team member and also as a leader. All right, so Zoom meetings don't hide ineffectiveness, it exposes it. These organizations can overcome team challenges with effective leadership. And guys, I'm dreaming about it. Leadership matters. People must stand up and be the leader to protect your organization, to protect your team, to be willing to take risk, to be willing to learn and not be a fixed mindset is so important. People want to be the leader, but you don't know how to lead. And I have been in that position too. I didn't know how to lead when I first became in a leadership position. I thought it was all about grinding people's ass and wanting to micromanage, but it's not about that. So how do I manage a team virtually and overcome the dysfunctions of a team? And like I said, the purpose of this video is just to get people who want to be in leadership a better understanding of what's going on with their team, as well as those people in leadership on how to improve managing their teams in the distance, and also if you have opened back up and are in the office. All right, so dysfunction number one is lack of trust. So we move at the speed of trust, and the key to trust is vulnerability. I have to believe that you're not going to hurt me. So sometimes leaders try to grind on their followers, try to grind on their team and hurt their feelings. That doesn't help. It just creates distrust. And so people hold grudges. They're hesitant to ask for help. Their failure to recognize talent on the team, and then you're hesitant to offer constructive feedback. So when your boss asks you to do something, or the leader asks you to do something, and you know it's a dumb decision, you don't even give feedback. You just let them fail. You just want them to crash and burn because there's no trust. So here are some of the hacks. Spend time with your team, meaningful time. There's a book talk about leaders eat last and sharing meals, things like that. Follow through on tasks. Give your people a love language survey. This is something that I definitely support, the love languages in the workplace. And I give you guys a quick tip. You don't have to do the love languages workplace edition online. You can do the regular love languages survey and learn a lot about your team. Also do personality profiles. So the Myers-Briggs, things like that. You can find out about your team to find out what their personality is. And so when you communicate to them in their language, and that helps you build trust. And leaders have to go first. So you take the survey, you start to share and be vulnerable and show your team that, look, I'm going to follow through on the task. I'm going to spend some time with you, and I'm going to get to know you as an individual. All right, dysfunction number two. Not being clear, so lack of clarity. So conflict can lead to clarity. That's from Chris Voss, his book of Never Splitting the Difference. So positive conflict versus interpersonal conflict. So is this a positive conflict that's dealing with the goals of the business, or is this an interpersonal conflict where I just don't like you? And so there's fear conflict equals the meetings being boring. If you're on a Zoom meeting and your boss is doing 95% of the talking, not asking questions, you're not giving honest feedback, and then there are politics and backbiting. So I've counseled with some people, and as soon as they get off the Zoom meeting, they're calling and FaceTiming each other, talking about how dumb the boss is. So that's not, and those things are going to happen. You can't alleviate those things, but the more that you try to build clarity in the mission and vision of what you guys are doing, it's going to help you out more. So here are some things that you can do. You can put critical topics on the table for discussion, just being transparent, listen and label emotions. So when you hear someone feeling frustrated, just say, hey, it seems like you're frustrated. what's going on. Conflict is necessary because it leads to clarity. So you have to get that stuff out of the way. And one of the things leaders should do is demonstrate restraint when team members engage in positive conflict and allow the resolution to occur naturally. So for instance, I was talking to this one guy who's a doctor, and he was having some conflict with his nurses in his office. And so the suggestion I gave to him was to allow them to have the powwow, but keep it involved with the mission and vision of your organization. So if the most important thing to you is patient care, how does this impact patient care? If it doesn't impact patient care, get over that mess. Let's try to figure out what the key problems are, and then let's just get over it, because we have to serve our patients. Keeping the mission and vision in front of you is important. All right, dysfunction number 3 is lack of commitment. So there has to be clarity and ownership. Now, in the book, it talks about buy-in, but sometimes in education, we'll say people who buy in can also sell out. But when you have ownership, you feel like you're a part of something, then you are more apt to commit. And commitment is a pledge to do something, the state of being bound emotionally or intellectually to an ideal or course of action, your mission, your vision. So are you a meaningful specific, or are you a wandering generality? That's something from Zig Ziglar, who talks about the purpose of, or the importance of, a mission and vision. So when you fail to commit, there is fear of failure, ambiguity about day-to-day actions, and there is no vision. So some of the ways to get over that is to create clarity of roles and responsibilities, set deadlines, review and restate key decisions at the end of every meeting. So as you're going through your Zoom meetings, people are logging on, you're talking for hours upon end, and then you just log off with no course of action. So I would say have an agenda, and on that, and stick to the agenda. Don't ramble. Stick to the freaking agenda. That shows that you are committed as a leader. And as leaders, sometimes we have to see what we don't want in order to see what we do want. That's from John Gordon, The Energy Bus. So leadership present to offer support. Leaders should be present. I messed that up. Leaders should be present to offer support to their team, doing virtual check-ins, not just in the Zoom meeting, but just saying, hey, Otis, this is, John, just wanted to check in with you one-on-one, offer some coaching and some support. I see that you're doing a great job. These are your roles and responsibilities, and I see that you are doing well in this area, but here are some areas that we need to improve, and here's how you do it. Don't just send your subordinates off to their own devices, because you'll get exactly what they expect, which is not much. Or it may be wrong if you don't tell them and you're not clear. All right, dysfunction number 4 is lack of accountability. Accountability is the glue that ties commitment, our previous dysfunction, to results. And that's going to foreshadow number 5. So how should we call out team members on performance that may affect the team? So sometimes you see people coming in late, not hitting their goals, not being accountable for their responsibilities that they've been assigned. So how should we do it? So I got this from one of the guys at church. He says, say what you mean, but don't say it mean. Say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean. You don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to be a butthole. So when there is no accountability, you avoid difficult conversations. There are lack of systems, low standards of performance, and the team leader does everything. So leaders burn out a lot in principal positions or manager positions, mid-manager or C-suite positions. You just burn out because you're not sharing the accountability. You're not holding people's feet to the fire for what they said they will do. There's a contractual obligation. You get paid, or you get a contract, or you get a commission for this service or for this function. And that's what we pay you for. And so we want performance. We want to feel like we're a part of something. So some of these hacks are peer pressure from subordinates, team rewards and recognition. So instead of individual accolades, hey, how can we be rewarded as a team? Dinner's on me, lunch is on me this Friday, or I want to give everyone a bonus. regular ongoing feedback that is written and verbal. I got this from one of my mentors, Dr. Hunter, but he would always say when you do feedback, because when you have a lot of employees, sometimes you will get in a rush and say, hey, I just want to send you this quick email about your performance. But no, take the time out, sit down with your employee. It can take 5 to 10 minutes. Have an agenda about what you want to say, some things that they're doing well, areas that they can improve, and then you show them how they can improve, and then you follow up. So leaders allow shared accountability from the team, but you are the ultimate authority. So allow people to have input and ownership, but when it comes to the decision making, when the rubber meets the road, it's time for you to make a decision. People are looking to you for guidance and also for protection and showing them how to get to the next level of success. All right, the last one is dysfunction number 5 is inattention to results. So Les Brown said you can have reasons or you can have results. Nobody cares about reasons. They only care about your results. So inattention to results will lead to loss of good employees. People don't want to stick around when you're a jerk and you're not paying attention to results, nor you can't help them get to the next level in their job because you are incompetent. So there are also individual accolades will lead to inattention to results and failure to gain market share. So you are competing with other businesses in your industry. And if you're not getting results, pretty soon you'll be out of business. So some of the hacks to get over dysfunction number 5 of inattention to results is to publicize your results. Set your goals. There's a book I finished reading called 12-Week Year, which talks about getting more done in 12 weeks by really focusing in on your top priorities. And Brian Tracy always talks about the power of 3. What are the 3 most important things in your business that you could be doing that are going to push you to the next level? And then incentives based on results, which goes back to the previous statement, one about accountability, is giving team incentives and things like that. And then looking at your benchmark saying, okay, how much are we going to acquire this quarter? Break it down into weeks. Break that down into daily tasks and actions and goals. How many calls need to be made? How many students need to be moved? How many contracts do we have to get? How much positive feedback do we need from our customers? And so leaders set the tone for a focus on results through modeling. You are the person who you want your subordinates to mimic. So if you can't get results, don't expect them to get results. So you have to soften your position and say, hey, how can I learn and get better? We all have to have a learner's mindset and wanting to get better. Don't have a fixed mindset, but you want to be in a learning mindset. All right. So to summarize this up, we have to lead by example. So I would suggest leaders, people who want to be in leadership. This is not people who are already in leadership, but if you see that your organization is jacked up and you like, man, what the freak is going on? Check out this video, learn how to lead by example. Keep these tenets in your mind. Use data to inform your decisions. Listen to your team. Team means together everyone achieves more. So you have to figure out what's going on. But as the leader, you have to listen to the team and then take that honest and critical feedback and then take action. Build trust through being in the trenches. Be with your people. Don't leave them alone to their own devices because you won't get the results you're looking for. All right, guys, thank you so much. Hit me up at Otis at otisclayton.com. My website is www.otisclayton.com for more information. And if you have questions about getting into leadership or you're a leader and you're struggling, man, please hit me up, contact me. I'd love to talk to you. Have a great day. Look forward to hearing from you soon.